Not your status quo, 100% right all the time. What did we say last week? This was going to be an Echo Rex episode. Well, we got half an episode of them, but still, that's where it started. So, boom, we're all right all the time.
Every time. We are 100% right 60% of the time.
Yeah. 60% of the time, we're 100% right.
But, I mean, this was more than just, Rex and Echo. We also got Crosshair, and we also got the entire Bad Batch. And it's funny, because I don't know if Attack on Show is here tonight, but he has said many times, he finds it humorous that the best episodes are ones without the Bad Batch. And we finally got, in what my opinion was a great episode, with them in it. But it really was all of these plot lines kind of coming together, in one. And it really is where we wanted it to be with only 2 episodes left. We definitely need this in the Bad Batch.
No, they're all converging back together in their own ways. And I love the fact that, Crosshair is sending them warnings, even though he's not with them. We all know what happened. But he still was like, all right, I'm sending them warning. I'll send them a warning because this is not at all what I thought it would be or something. He's changed his attitude about the Empire, obviously. And the fact that, he's sending them messages meant they never really left his heart, although he's got not a very small heart. But they're still in it.
He's a curmudgeon. He's definitely... But think about it, too. I mean, he tried to kill them. He was hunting them for the Empire. So you can see where they would be a little hesitant to think that, that is anything but a trap that he's sending. But they're still going to go because... Yeah. Because, I mean, he's still part of the Bad Batch. He's still part of their family. So they're definitely going to go. But the question is, did Dr. Hemlock kind of let him escape from the room knowing he would send a message to them?
Ooh. Well, that guy seems pretty shifty. So that might be... That's a good theory.
Because when I was watching it, I was like, man, that would seem awfully easy for him to get out. And anytime anyone escapes easily or a villain gets caught easy, I'm always thinking it's Loki from the Avengers. He wants to be there, or they're letting him get out. And if they did, he did exactly what they wanted him to. He went to a room, called out to him, which I don't know if they'll be able to triangulate, where they're at. I hope not, because we definitely don't want anything bad happening to that island paradise they're on. But it's definitely bringing them there. So, but what they don't know is that Echo and Rex are probably coming too. And I would assume a lot of their clones that they've been freeing and building up. We talked about this early in the season that it's going to be a clone rebellion of some type. And they're definitely building towards that. And unfortunately, we know there's not a lot of clones left in the universe. Yeah. Come Andor, come Rebels. So I got a bad feeling it's not going to end well for the clones. So I think, I don't know if that happens here.
Yeah, that'd be a horrible ending to that show. Just like all the clones except for Rex get wiped out. But you think Echo would survive too?
I do. I think if a few's going to survive. We know a few are around here and there, so I do think some will survive. But man, it's such a dark time in the galaxy, and I just don't see this ending well. Just because we haven't heard a lot about any of these people, obviously, because it's made after all these, but
right,
it's going to be tough to write them a happy ending. Yeah,
I mean, either that or they just, they just faded off into obscurity in the galaxy, which they'd have to be really old to be last in anything in the Mandoverse,
Yeah, and they could just go back to that island paradise.
Except Omega, now because she was young, she would be Boba Fett's age. All right, so
yeah,
no, she'd be younger than that. She's even younger than Boba Fett, so. She could come in as a 35, 40-year-old,
yeah.
And she would still be, you know, like Mando's age. I don't know how old Mando is. I'm guessing he's around that age too. You know, so they are definitely making a show simultaneous with a character they could bring into the Mandoverse next year. You know, it's kind of nuts.
They could honestly bring her in this year if they did a post-credit scene, her showing up and being like, "I've been gone for a while." Doug's not here to do the voice. "I've been gone for a while, but I'm here to help."
But you know, they couldn't do that until we get done with the Bad Batch, so we know if she survives the Bad Batch.
That's true, but for all we know, honestly, if this goes poorly, if the next 2 episodes go poorly for the Bad Batch, this could be the last season. This could be the story they wanted to tell. Just get them to Mount Tantus, have a major battle, have a lot of the clones, unfortunately, get destroyed. Maybe their mission is successful, maybe, hopefully, they don't. My theory is they don't get Omega. And what's going to happen is, I certainly hope it's not the last season 2 Fatherly Fandom, but I think what's going to happen is they're not going to get, because Omega is the key to what I believe is Force-sensitive clones leading towards somehow Palpatine returned. And they're working towards that, and without her, they're going to try to recreate it, and we're going to get what we got in Heir to the Empire, which was a mad Jedi clone, Jorah Sabaoth. So they may try to do it. They may be successful in giving a clone Force abilities, but that clone is not going to be sane. And I think we may see how it played out in Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command, and we'll see that play out, in the future here. So I hope so.
But you're all right? Everything good?
What?
Oh my gosh.
What you got?
It's from the movies. It's amazing.
My wife they had to meet the candidates for our...
Yes, and the whole bag is filled with popcorn.
Yeah, this whole bag right here
Donated
This
by
bag-
Phoenix. Shout out to Phoenix.
is
Okay.
filled with movie
Crap.
popcorn. Are you guys going to eat it all before I get done?
No. I
Thanks for being
I
honest.
thought she was gonna give us the big one. You should do a.
That wasn't the big one?
The bag was like. Do a shout out to Phoenix. Maybe they'll send us free popcorn.
Fandom says hi, Scully.
Oh.
Hi, Sully.
Tell Sully Fatherly Fandom said hey.
Okay.
Yeah, wow. Don't eat all the popcorn, please. Sully says he was going to. So make him go to bed.
He goes, I'll just take the whole thing.
I don't know.
Plaza.
But I do hope this isn't the last season. I do hope this kind of doesn't come to an absolute end here. And I hope they have more stories to tell, because this could just be the beginning. Because they may go free Crosshair, or Crosshair may sacrifice himself to save the rest of the Bad Batch so they can escape. But just because they escape doesn't mean that, Hemlock, Dr. Hemlock, and Mount Tantus and the Empire aren't going to still want. Once the Emperor finds out why they want Omega, they're going to be relentless in hunting her down. So I do think there's more stories to tell, but they could end it here. You never know.
Yeah, I would hope that they would continue. I mean, it's like I said, when they first started the show, I was like, why? They just created these guys in the last 4 episodes, and now they're going to give them a whole show. I don't get it. It's really gone way beyond my expectations. And
Well, remember
just-
all of us, like before the Bad Batch and even before Andor, we were like, do we really need more stories told in this time? And I mean, Andor was just absolutely tremendous. And then, the Bad Batch, the good episodes are great. I don't want to say the bad episodes, but the
Average?
The average episodes are, average to good. So it has been, a nice run, and we just gotta, I think, trust in Dave Filoni that he has a plan and we're getting to it. However, whatever speed he wants to get us to it.
Yeah, and he co-wrote this week's Mandalorian, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. And Carl Weathers directed it.
He did. I wonder if that was why it was the shortest one. Well, I got that under my belt now. Half an hour. Next time we'll do longer. I don't know how many he's directed before. I think he has directed some. But let's worry about that when we get to The Mandalorian.
Yeah, we got, a few of the things I think are going to happen. I think we're going to see a bad Force clone be created. I think Crosshair is going to sacrifice himself for the rest of the Bad Batch so they can escape. But, I also don't know if that's going to happen. I think maybe, I think Fatherly Fandom was saying he thinks Tech is going to
Fight it.
be the one who sacrifices himself for the rest of the Bad Batch. And I think that's a possibility too, because then Crosshair's back with the team. And there's going to be that tension with the team, with him coming back and, what has happened and all that other stuff. So, I go back and forth with what I think is going to happen. But I think Crosshair, if he does, but even if he, and the reason I think he will be the one who sacrificed himself, why I keep leaning that way, is Doug's theory that Crosshair, or a clone of Crosshair, or his genetic material, is going to be what creates Snoke. So I think even if he dies, if he is the one that dies in this battle at Mount Tantus, they're going to keep his genetic material. Because I can't help but thinking, when Hemlock was telling Grand Moff Tarkin, send the clones to me, he wanted them to get that genetic material. He doesn't care about the clones. He's not going to use them as an army. He wants all that genetic material to do, cloning experiments on. So I think there's a lot more to the Bad Batch and whoever does get left behind at Mount Tantus and what they're going to become, or what their genetic material is going to do.
Yeah, and they still don't even know about it. I mean, obviously we can see, but like Rex and Echo, they're like, where are they taking them? They're just rounding up clones and sending them, but where are they taking? Why are they taking them there? So they still don't. They haven't figured anything like that out yet.
Yeah, and how will they figure it out?
Do you think it's maybe buried in the information that Echo got off the ship before they got out of it?
I mean, it's possible, or they can triangulate that signal where it came from, perhaps. But yeah, figuring out, or they're going to have to do some investigative work to figure out, what the heck it came from. Because the next episode is called The Summit, so we can only assume the summit, unless they're, throwing us a curveball, is Mount Tantus. Mm-hmm. And all the cloning that's going on. They're cloning the Black Ops, scientific cloning facility for the Empire. And then episode 16 is Plan 99. And is this something we're going to find out, that the entire Bad Batch, Clone Force 99, was their initial attempts at genetically modifying the clones? Because we know the entire Bad Batch aren't exact clones. Wrecker has strength, Hunter can do this tracking, tech. So I think Plan 99, maybe we find out what Kamino had in store and why they were doing these alterations to the genetic material. Because all the other clones are just basically Jango Fett aged up.
Yeah. Yep.
And even Boba.
And I thought that was their whole gimmick, was that they were the 99th and they wanted to give them enhanced features. And if, like, Omega would be considered 99 because they were trying to, put midi-chlorians into her, I guess, somehow make her force sensitive. So she would fit into that mold, better than she even knows.
Yeah, I think Plan 99 started with the Bad Batch. Well, Trooper 99, the one clone that did the sweeping up and stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it turned into the Bad Batch, Clone Force 99. And the last step in that Plan 99 cloning process was Omega. And, midichlorians and force sensitivity or whatnot. So I can't think of what else Plan 99 would be unless that's the Bad Batches. Here's our plan to free our friends.
Or it's like Order 66. They just changed it to Plan 99 and now kill the rest of the clones. But that would ruin all the research. So that's shoot that out of the water right now.
Well, you can get genetic material from a dead body.
Yeah, but for how long? You want to keep them as long as you can.
No, you definitely do. That's why they were, imprisoning them, probably one at a time. Do what they got to do to these guys and go from there.
Yeah, if that's the way they wanted to do it, you think about it. They take 3 at a time rather than rounding them all up and taking them there. Because if you take them all there, then they're just going to form, they're going to get together, form a rebellion, and break out. So you take them 3 at a time. They're not going to do that.
No, you definitely don't want to take too many at a time. You're right, because, these are Jango Fett clones. They're very skilled. They're very smart. So, yeah, you definitely want to take them over in small groups. But, of course, the other thing that I think they hinted at are the clones that are working inside the Empire for Rex and Echo. They definitely know there's, Moff Tarkin. Grand Moff Tarkin was like, we know we've got some clones that are, not with us anymore. They're starting to think their own way and do all this other stuff. So I think we're going to start seeing them rooted out in the next couple episodes too. So there's a lot of story to tell. So let's keep our fingers crossed for season 3 of the Bad Batch at some point.
Yeah, and he's Governor Tarkin in this, and the thing that I had a problem with, and then I know it's not something they just forgot about, but he's saying like some of these clones aren't following orders, and the whole reason the Emperor sold the Senate on getting rid of them is that they just follow orders, and now that's not even true. They're not following their orders. But obviously, nobody in the Star Wars universe would ever bring that up, to the Senate, which isn't there anymore anyway.
And of course, it isn't as A New Hope. He disbands it in A New Hope. But yeah, he's not going to let people know these clones are actually thinking for themselves. He's going to be like, we can't trust them. They're blowing stuff up. We need these, scripted soldiers. They'll think for themselves and they won't do these bad things. The clones are like, we are thinking about it. Shut up. Get in the cage. Yeah. We need your sweet Jango Fett DNA.
Wait, don't talk back to me. Wait, doesn't that prove I'm not taking your orders? I'm talking back.
Get those cameras off. Get out of here. Yeah, looking forward to next week. It'll be nice with 2 episodes to wrap this up. I hope it's wrapped up nicely.
You gotta make it out of March. What's that, the 29th?
The 29th, you're right. I was going to say a week from now is the 30th, but it comes out on Wednesday. So, yeah, March 29th.
And then we have 4 more Mando episodes. Then what comes after that? Did you say Secret Wars? Secret Invasion starts after that? June?
Well, not sure now. A lot of people thought it was going to be May, but they're thinking June now. So we'll get Guardians of the Galaxy in May. We'll get Secret Invasion in June. They're saying Ahsoka late July, early August. Obviously, we get the Flash in June, so they're starting to spread them out again. With Bob Iger back, they don't want 50 shows a year. So I think we're going to get a little space between them and time to catch our breath and do some theory paloozing and all that fun stuff.
You know what they should do is alternate MCU, Star Wars on the TV shows. 8 weeks of MCU show or however many, 8 weeks of Mando. Switch back and forth. That way no one will get tired of it.
It's true. You're right. And Fatherly Fandom says, the fall for Ahsoka, possibly September. Yep. So we know it's going to be spaced out a little bit. It's all good. Once again, I think we all agree. Quality over quantity.
Yep.
We don't need an MCU show and a Star Wars show every week.
Right.
As long as things are, as long as there's quality happening.
And wait, are the boys putting on a new season this year, or is that next year?
No, I do think a new season is coming this year. We also get that
Invincible?
Gen Z thing.
Oh, it's like is it a cartoon?
No, it's live action.
It's live action? Didn't they have a cartoon? Oh, it was like something
Yeah.
On college
The
or
Boys
something like that?
Diabolical. No, that's the live action one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Doug just got home. He's going to be hopping on Zoom here in a minute.
He's got to wash off his face from all the blood from the fight club. Uh-oh. He said prepare ourselves.
Yep.
So he's gonna pop on here. It's gonna be like Insane Clown Posse.
He's going to be drinking Faygo and...
Eating better made potato chips.
Oh, Jesus.
Cheese and rice.
My earbud just fell out. I don't even know. Oh, my God. It's halfway across the room.
Are you sure it wasn't pulled out by a string?
It could have been. It definitely could have been. So we will wait for Doug to jump on here. I think
I want to hear what he thinks about the Bad Batch.
we've said all we have to say about the Bad Batch this week. Excellent. What would you rate it? Or should we wait for Doug to rate it?
Yeah, let's wait for Doug. It's only fair.
Yeah. We're always about fairness.
We are?
No,
yes,
never.
we are.
If you listen to the chat, when we change the voices to one a show, you would think we're not fair at all. I think they're still riled up about it.
Well, Sierra won't be on until 9. She's working. Oh, here comes Doug. And I don't know where Tundra Walker is.
That's a good question. He's actually, I think, coming to this side of the state here.
Hey, Doug!
He's actually, I think, coming to this side of the state here.
Well, who's got... Now it's not me this time. Doug, is your speaker on? Okay. Doug just had an interesting day. It looks like.
Once again, paying homage to our favorite clone, Echo.
Interesting is a way to put it.
Well, let's hear your thoughts. We've already kind of beaten our thoughts to death over here. Let's hear what you had to say.
Saying what?
The Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch, sir.
The Bad Batch. The batch that was bad.
The less than good batch.
The group that was not good.
The slightly under average batch.
Mm-hmm. That's that Star Wars cartoon, right? I didn't watch that.
Wait, that's a cartoon?
Cartoon?
Wait, that's a cartoon?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
An animated show.
Probably some baby thing. Who knows? I don't. Please, excuse me. I need to go. I need to go watch Picard, and then that is it.
Dude, I hope you're not dissing Picard.
I'm dissing Picard.
I've never seen Picard, but I've heard it wasn't good.
Dude, this season has been great. Every season has been great.
This season has been good. Okay.
No, season 1 and 2 were good. This season has been great.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny, because if you want to talk about it later, we can. There's a parallel between Picard, season 3, and the new Secret Invasion comic that has come out from Marvel.
Well, Keith, let me tell you, sir, I've got my blue milk here. I am loaded up with blue milk, like to the brim. If anyone were to ask me, Doug, what are you full of? I would say blue milk. And Keith,
do people ask you?
Milk,
people ask you what you're full of?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Hey, man. Hey, Doug.
I mean, sometimes it's phrased like, Doug, you are full of X, and then I have to remind them, it's funny you should mention that. I am actually full of blue milk. But because of my surplus of blue milk, Keith, no one is going to break my style. No one's going to hold me down.
Well, no.
Oh, you've got to keep on moving?
I've got to keep on moving. Right into talking about Star Wars. The Mandalorian or the Bad Batch? Which one?
Oh, we should be doing the Bad Batch. I did.
Graphic, you goofball.
Because I got switched up. I was prepping for the switch to Mandalorian. We were in tangent time, and
you jumped ahead. You just jumped right on in.
Jump the
I'm not a
shark.
very bright
Wow.
man. You guys know this.
Keith, this is going to be like the third time we've had to write you up today.
You know what happens on the third one, right?
I get a
You
bonus.
forfeit your next year's salary.
Yes,
That's
you
what
get a
happens.
bonus, obviously.
Yay!
Yeah, but he forfeits it to both of us. We just split it.
Ooh, 5 whole cents.
Yeah, well, I think it's more than that now. It's like $2.
Ooh, well.
And Fatherly Fandom said he had a ton of blue milk yesterday. Are you
He
feeling
did.
okay?
I was watching him on a stream, and he was boy. Somebody was really calling him out on all those absolutely's
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
and making him take many large swigs of blue milk.
Even
Oh,
even
have
his
I
son
shown-
said you say that word a lot to him during the stream yesterday.
Have I shown you guys this? I don't remember if I did.
No, you have not.
I found this on Amazon. I was trying to
Blue
find
milk
something.
carton.
Yeah, it looks like a blue milk carton, right?
Yeah.
So I was looking for a container that I could put. I'm very particular about my sugar-free coffee cream, so whenever I go on a trip, I like to bring some with me. That way, I know that I don't have to use whatever the hotel might have if I'm like going somewhere. So I was looking for a container to put my coffee cream in. That way, I wouldn't have to take the whole jug. And then when I saw this, I'm like, that's cool. I don't know if I want to get it for the coffee cream, but I definitely want to get it for my blue milk for Not Your Status Quo streams because it looks so freaking cool.
Boom. Boom.
Boom.
Boom.
So, this episode of The Bad Batch, I totally drove us into tangent time like immediately.
That's what we do.
It's wow. I mean, I
It
feel
was
like I should
weird because
that.
Dave and I were on track the whole time. You know, we
Chat, is that true? Were Dave and Keith on track the entire time? Chat, don't lie to me.
don't answer. Don't
It
answer.
never lies.
But anyway, I gotta say, and I said this in our group chat when we were talking about the episodes. I really, really enjoyed this week's episode of Bad Batch, and I'm starting to notice that the ones that have Echo in them, or not Echo, the ones that have Crosshair in them, wow, dude, like they're good. They're pretty friggin' good. It seems like all the ones that are dealing with a darker tone, and I swear, I know that I've got a Watchman book back there, and I swear I have not been hanging out in, Reddit threads talking about how great Zachary, our Lord and Savior Snyder is, but I'm starting to realize that when it comes to the Bad Batch episodes, the ones that are dealing with, like, more darker subject matter seem to be the best.
Well, and it fits the tone of where the galaxy is right now too. I mean, this is
I
right
think
after
that's
the
why.
Empire took
I think
over.
that's why. It's exactly that, because yes, this is like the beginning stages of the Empire. We literally just saw a bunch of child slaughter, which the Mandalorian also reminded us happened. We know that the Emperor is actually a dark Sith Lord, and we know like it's only going to get worse as they're constructing their space station. Like, so yeah. Whenever we're dealing with like instead of like going on happy little treasure hunt adventures, like when they're actually showing us, oh yeah, no, this horrible stuff is happening to the citizens of the galaxy, and it's like, oh, that's right, this is a really shitty time. And I like those episodes, and this was good. This is a good one.
No, and it was. We talked about, Attack on Show is always saying it seems like the episodes with the actual Bad Batch in them are the worst ones, and he's not wrong.
He's
And
not
this one
wrong.
was-
Yeah.
And this one was great because it had Crosshair, it had Rex, it had Echo, and it had the Bad Batch. And it's starting to bring these plot lines together for what we hope is a massive finale. As Fatherly Phantom always says, Zillow beasts flying around, trashing the place, clones versus stormtroopers, and just utter mayhem going on.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's going to be like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, right.
Looking forward to it. It's been the
Yeah.
best. It's been the better of the two shows as well as far as the Mandalorian goes so far. I think
I
Bad Batch
agree.
is better this season.
It's weird Like I was really, really looking forward to the Mandalorian coming back, and I was kind of like biding my time with the Bad Batch. Like when it came out, Bad Batch is good. There's a couple of miss episodes here and there. Like we had to deal with the race car one with the weird robot.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
did you see the callback to that episode?
Yeah, with the tunnel.
You mean the tech turn?
Oh, the tech turn. Yeah. Yes, that was good. But yeah, so now I kind of agree with you, Dave, that the episodes that we've seen of The Mandalorian, not all great. Some of them they've been like just above average, I'd say, so far. Like, each one has been like, it's been all right. Been okay. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the internet hates The Mandalorian this season. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I don't read those. I'm trying to stay positive.
Yeah. I try to as well, but it's weird, So, but yeah, no, the Bad Batch has been better. Like I said, some episodes not so great. This one, though, was really good. I like that we finally got like almost immediate follow up on what's going on with Crosshair. Like, we had to stick it out. We had to go to this episode where they're doing island fun adventures. That was a dumb episode, but
see, I don't think it was dumb. It just wasn't great. I don't think it was dumb. It just wasn't great. I still think, we saw some nice things. Wrecker living his best life, things of that nature. Once again, I will say that showed them the kind of life they should get. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen. It's just going to make it that much sadder with what's going to happen.
Yep. But
absolutely.
But yeah, I was mentioning in Follow the Fandom's stream last night, I was getting some serious Thrawn vibes from the doctor. What is his name again?
Dr. Hemlock.
Yeah, Dr. Hemlock. First off, Hemlock, isn't that like some sort of like poisonous? Yeah. So that's already, and the fact that he basically comes out and he says, yes, this is a poisonous gas that I've been working on. Naturally, I'm resistant to it. And it's like, oh, so you're psycho. Cool. All right, great.
Yep. He's very Thrawnish himself.
Yeah.
He's very calm at all times. Even if he gets upset, he still remains calm.
And I'm convinced, I don't know if you guys already mentioned this or not, but I'm convinced that he purposely made the call to let Crosshair get away that first time.
Hey guys, look in the chat and see the last word that was typed.
Oh. But yeah, so did you guys already talk about that?
We did. And I do think that he got out a little too easy. Because he knew he was not going to break Crosshair. He knew the only way to either find where Omega is to have him escape, call out to them, which he knew he would.
Yeah.
And they were going to come running to help their buddy.
Of course. They're brothers.
Even though, like I was saying earlier, they're probably a little hesitant since Crosshair has been hunting them and tried to kill them. But when they parted after Camino was destroyed, Omega had saved his life. He saved that robot. And he was like, we'll call it even. So they seem to be on better terms the last time they met. So,
and they knew that he was captured by the Empire and that the Empire has him imprisoned, or not in prison, but
Well, yeah. When they were reading the information that they had secured, what was left of that data drive, wasn't one of the lines in there the reason why Crosshair was being transferred to that facility? Like, oh, he rebelled against the Empire? Oh, shit, okay. Oh, yeah, wow, okay. I guess he finally...
that would be the only reason they would come for him, I think.
It took him long enough. They're probably thinking, like, we told him that this wasn't cool, but he stuck it out a lot longer than he should have.
Yeah.
But I think this season has mostly been leading up to that. Like, it's just been one thing after another. Like that mission that he was on with Cody, right? That was I think his first bit of awakening. And he's starting to realize, like, okay, yeah, this isn't cool. I can see. And then when Cody left, when he went AWOL, like, I mean, that tracks. That makes sense. You know, because I completed this mission for them. They're still treating me like garbage. And they're still talking about, you know, passing this bill to replace us with stormtroopers. Then all of a sudden, he goes on that mission, finds out that they were basically sent on a death mission to secure stormtrooper armor. And then, you know, it was like a toss and hat, like it didn't even really matter. And then they ended up sending
and
it
not only were they protecting the stormtrooper armor, but that stormtrooper armor had been around for years.
Yep.
So he knew
Yep.
that they'd been planning this a lot longer than.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So it's just been, like, one thing after another that's finally, like, kind of cluing him in that, like, okay, yeah,
Make
I'm
a
done
place
with
for
this.
me. This is not where I need to be any longer.
Right. Toxic workplace. I need to take a mental health
Yep.
day.
Send out some resumes. I'm not going to quit until I actually find another thing, though.
Oh, no. So he didn't quiet quit. He loud quit with his gun.
I'm going to go ahead and shoot my boss.
Right.
Well,
Didn't even give us 2
well-
weeks.
He didn't.
Keith was asking what I would rate this episode or the season so far.
Yeah, this episode.
This episode, because we wanted to wait until you got here to get us all to get a vote. So I think I
Okay.
would give this episode a solid 7, maybe 7.5. It's been I enjoyed it.
Now I have not. I have not switched from the rating I gave last night on Fatherly Fandoms. I really enjoyed this episode. I think it pushed the story along, brought characters forward, did a lot of good things. I definitely think this is an 8.5.
And it is super funny that you mentioned that. Dave, what did you say about how we rate things at the theater?
That we're excited at the theater and we normally rate them down later.
Well, no. I mean about how specifically Keith, myself, and you rate things.
Oh, yeah. Keith's the highest, mine's the lowest, and yours is in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's how it's going to work again this time.
8. You give it an 8.
Exactly. That is exactly, yeah. So I had mentioned that last night in Fatherly Fandom stream. I definitely felt that it wasn't... It was good. Could be better. I still think one of the best episodes was probably the one that took place on Coruscant for the Bad Batch. I think that might have been the best one of this season so far. But it was good. It's pretty decent. So yeah, I'm willing to give it an 8. I think it's definitely way better than average, but it's not perfect. You know, still had its fair share of issues here and there. You know, like I kind of wanted it to be. This is one of the few times where I will actually speak out and I'll say, like, you know, maybe if it had been a little bit longer, it would have served the story better. Because it almost felt like in certain areas that it was being rushed a bit.
You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he? Or is he so right that it blows your mind?
Well, you know what it got me thinking of was the prison episode with the Martez sisters with Ahsoka in the last season of Clone Wars.
Yeah, that was an excellent episode. I know Keith loved it.
What was
Is there
that
something
again?
wrong with your milk?
I think I must have heard Dave wrong. Little bit too much blue milk on the brain. What was that now?
I said Keith loves the Martez sisters. He wants them in every episode.
Okay. Well, look at the time, fellas. I gotta go.
Yeah, go back to your other reality.
Yeah.
The worst part about that whole episode when Rex and them were in their garage was that they weren't there. We needed the Martez sisters.
No, so the reason why I thought about that episode was it was longer than it needed to be. And the entire episode was pointless. It served zero purpose. They started off in jail with the Pikes.
Yep.
They talked about their feelings. They escaped for a little bit, met up with the night owls, and then immediately got captured again.
Yeah, I would think that they wouldn't, like, going back to that show, I guess this is a little tangent. Why wouldn't they just kill them? They're the Pikes.
I have no idea. That's why I said it was too long. It was too long. It didn't need to be that length. This episode, which again, kind of a Prison Breaky sort of episode thing that started and then ended the same way, to me felt too short. Explain that. What was the difference?
I think the difference was that this episode kept things going, and it felt short. Like when it ended, I was like, "Oh man, really?"
Yeah, like the credits popped up. I'm like, seriously? That's it? I was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
When any episode with the Martez sisters, I'm like, please bring the credits up, and they just never come. It's Hold on. We're gonna do a song and dance number with them first, then we'll get to the credits.
And I could do this all day.
Oh no. Keith's absolute. Does that count?
It does.
Okay.
I say it counts, yeah.
Keith's favorite end credit scene in a Marvel TV show.
It by far is number one.
What a Christmas treat he got that year.
I remember. So he talked about that in our What's Next video that I did the editing on that one, and I had to cut out some of his rant because it would end for too long.
Well, if you remember, I was super mad because I watched all the episodes, and then I rewatched it with my wife.
Uh-huh.
And I remember at the end of it, I'm like, God, I don't remember what the post-credit scene is. I know there's one that I'm like, oh no, turn it off, turn it off.
And then she probably looked at me and said, "This is what you watch? This is what you talk about on your YouTube channel? This? Come on, Keith."
What is
Or
wrong
she
with
was
you?
like- Or she was like, oh, I loved it.
Oh God.
Did she like it?
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Oh.
Each their own. Well, it's
Keith, I
so
think
we
you're gonna have
talked about
to.
the show longer than it was actually on TV.
Keith, you're gonna have to take that pop socket back. We can't have her representing not your status quo.
That's true. I should have done it a long time ago. It'll be done.
Yeah. All right.
He's also a big Jared Leto fan.
Ever since Dave took her to see Morbius, she's
She thought this was such a good movie. I don't understand why they didn't rate it higher.
And don't forget to hit us up at Twitter, leave a comment down below, and we will see you next time on Not Your Status Quo.